Welcome back everyone, my name is Kevin. Today I'm going to be bringing you my review of the Samsung Galaxy S21 after well over a month of using it. This is the most affordable of currently 3 Galaxy S devices. I bought it on a pre-order with the accessories bundle. I will keep the review concise, but since it is a relatively expensive phone, I'm going to be critical about the overall value of the S21. Here are some of the cool additions and features to start off with. The S21 5G is IP68 rated for water resistance. It has wireless charging and reverse wireless charging to power up your other devices on the go. The on-screen fingerprint scanner is fast and more accurate than last year's model, and if that doesn't strike your fancy, we also have a face-registered unlock feature as well. The display is the first topic to start with. We have a large 6.2-inch dynamic AMOLED panel. It's 2400 by 1080 pixels, which is a direct downgrade from last year's S20, any way you look at it. We lose over 140 pixels per inch as compared to the Galaxy S20, but what we stand to gain here is a slightly brighter panel to make outdoor visibility better. I think outdoor visibility was already exceptionally good on these Galaxy S phones, and the extra resolution made them stand out on paper when put next to another phone, like the iPhone. Now the S21 5G is less pixel dense than Apple's iPhone 12. A key display feature that Samsung did not remove on this phone is the adaptive 120Hz refresh rate. Now, because of that lower resolution, we get a more practical daily use of the fluid and beautiful 120Hz adaptive screen in the user interface. The glass protecting the screen is Corning's Victus glass, which is more scratch resistant than Gorilla Glass 6, so at least we will see less abrasions over time. The phone does come with a pre-installed screen protector as well, and I think this is a nice touch. Stereo speakers are a highlight on this phone. It can get loud, and the tuning of it is balanced, enjoyable for movies or any music really. Samsung has introduced UFS 3.1 speed internal storage into this phone. Now the two storage options are 128 gigs and 256. Now the bigger storage variant doesn't cost much more, but both units are 8 gigs of RAM. The trade-off they made in this model to have faster and more power-efficient storage is removing the micro SD card slot. Now, comparing this to the Galaxy A71, which is UFS 2.1 storage speeds, there is a pretty significant speed difference. This will load up apps faster and just generally be a lot quicker in everyday tasks. But comparing this to the S20, which had a micro SD card slot, 3.1 isn't all that much faster than UFS 3. Let's talk about the battery. The S21 is housing a 4000 mAh battery. Now this is one of the parts of this video where my long-term experiences might really be worth something to you. I had a few different use cases that I repeated day after day and averaged my results. On my ordinary phone use case, with brightness turned up all the way and data and Wi-Fi turned on, I got 8 hours and 25 minutes of screen on time. That is more than enough to get you all-day battery life with a single charge. On my lower use examples, with brightness on around 80% and 5G off, I could comfortably get 10 hours plus and almost stretch it out to the end of the second day. The Galaxy S21 has a variant with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 888 processor. This is a 5nm chip, and there's also a variant with an Exynos 2100 processor. Either version you get, whether it is the international variant or the US model, the benchmark scores are going to be killing it on these chips. In my real-world testing of the Snapdragon variant, I can confidently tell you that this phone can handle every single graphically demanding 3D game that I played with ease at top settings. Application crashing was never an issue on this phone. There's no hiccups or stuttering in the performance at all, and 8GB of RAM is going to ensure that you have smooth performance for the years to come with further software updates. Moving on to the rear cameras, this is the biggest standout feature for me. I mean, the cameras in this phone are seriously so good, even Snapchat on Android is impressive despite that application's lack of optimization for the Android platform. Photos taken on here look natural, both in terms of colors, dynamic range, and also overall image processing. I always liked Samsung's stock camera app, and on the S series, it is at its best with plenty of modes that we wouldn't find on the mid-range phone series. I'd take this camera over the iPhone 12 any day. In fact, I have the iPhone 12 mini and the regular iPhone 12. Still, every time I leave the house and I have an opportunity to take good photos, I will take that Samsung phone. The ultra-wide lens is particularly good, and I find myself using it far more often than I use the iPhone 12's wide-angle camera. I attribute this to better image processing and also better optics that make the images sharper. We have the capability of super steady video recording, 8K of course, just like the previous Galaxy S phone, except on here, full resolution 8K is actually usable, not too shaky. If you want super slow motion, they have that too, with 960 frames per second. Here's the selfie test. Feel free to let me know your thoughts about the 10 megapixel front camera Samsung has put into this. If the camera on your smartphone isn't a very important tool or something you put a lot of value into, this phone isn't for you, because so much of Samsung's budgeting has gone towards the camera and away from the display. Personally, I'm a bit disappointed that Samsung didn't make the base S model smaller. There are two larger variants after all, the Galaxy S21 Ultra and the Galaxy S21 Plus. This one could have been smaller and easier to manage for people with small hands. The phone's back is constructed out of plastic, and considering the price, that's a con. But what you feel more or less in the hand is the metal railings around the device, which make the overall feel in the hand not too cheap. For me personally, Samsung has removed far too many features that I value in a flagship device, and any device really, for me to consider keeping this device and using it long term. That being said, if you do plan on picking up the S21 and you don't value things like the headphone jack or the micro SD card slot, I would say only buy it if you're coming from an older Galaxy S device from 2018 or a Note phone from 2018 or before. If you want to see these upcoming tech product videos that I'm putting out, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell turned on. That's all for today, my friends. Bye for now.